Yo, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are back live with another video. We're here. Agree to disagree, man. It's been a minute. You know what I'm saying to you, but we're here. Fridays, you know the score. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We got a new panel member of the show. We got man like Just Joe. You might have seen him before, but he's here anyway. Joe, how you doing? How you feeling? Is it coming home? What are you saying?
It is coming home, man. Tell me. Honestly, it is. But listen, thank you for having me on. Genuinely, Saeed is the GOAT when it comes to content creation. So to be on the show is class. So thank you so much, man. Buzzing.
Come on, always, man. Big up to you. Big up to Dan Potts, man. What are you saying, man?
Good, bro. Yeah, I'm good, man. It's good to be back with you. Good to have Joe with us. And yeah, he must be buzzing that Southgate's getting a new deal. So, you know, it's sure we'll talk about that. And yeah, man, we'll get into it. Big up to everyone, man. Hit the like and subscribe.
Defo, man. Big up to you, Dan, as well. You get me, Chelsea fan. Full England there, man. What's going on? Yeah?
Yeah, good to be here, Si. Good to see you on here, Joe. Dan, how you doing, mate, as well? Yeah, pleasure to be on as always. I'm buzzing. I literally can't wait for Sunday. It's coming home. It's inevitable. I've never seen Harry Kane have that much passion, so I'm over the moon, mate.
You know.
Yeah,
that's
that's unreal.
Do that.
Never, by the way, because you know what? As a Tottenham player, he's never been in a position to have that much passion.
Bro, you said it, man. You said it. Big up, guys. Big up to everyone. Drifty should be with us any minute now. Big up to Drifty, and hopefully Lee Judges might make a kind of appearance as well. So big up to everyone locked in. Hit them like buttons. But yeah, man. Only place we could talk about is on Sunday, man. The big one, man. Spain versus England. I mean, we also got some reports as well that Southgate will be getting a contract. I think, is it regardless? Of the outcome. Yeah. So regardless of the outcome, he's going to be getting a new contract. Internal talks already took place to confirm total confidence in Southgate. So it looks like, Joe, you're getting your wish. And he's staying. And yeah. You know what?
He's called Southgate, mate. Southgate is his name now.
Southgate. Wow. Well, if he wins the actual European trophy, like, he's done something that nobody else has done. Albeit he's got one of the best teams ever, but still, you still got to do it, man. So
he's already done it though, with back-to-back finals, I think. So
yeah.
Sorry,
I don't think an England manager for the men's team, because I saw there was a bit of controversy on that one, has ever done it before. Like the back-to-back for the men's team in European finals. It's never happened before.
Dan, it's the first time we've been in a major final outside of England.
Yeah.
So that in itself is huge. You know what I mean? So
you know what, like, because someone says here, deserve to be fair, like, are we harsh on Southgate? Are we kind of like,
I think it's the football side. It's the football that he plays.
That's what I'm saying. But then this is what I say about people, yeah. Like, are people obsessed with the outcome or the journey? Like, because I wanted Ten Hag out, yeah, and I said I didn't like the way we got to the FA Cup. I didn't like the journey. I didn't like it all. I just didn't like the football. But it's like Southgate. It's like, nah, but he's done well and da. Like, where is it? Like,
I think though as well, Saeed. This is where you have to separate club football and international football. Because your club with Ten Hag, you're looking, I don't know, decades into the future, the next 5 years, where we're going to be at. Whereas for England, what is it? A couple of weeks every few years, a major tournament. And for me, the way that he's guided us through this tournament, regardless of the stinking football, at times, I'm not going to defend that at times it's been poor. But, you know, especially when we look at the semi-final, that's the best we've played. We're maybe peaking at the right time. I think just on the final itself, look, Spain are the favourites, rightly so. I hate this whole, like, football's the winner if Spain win. I don't care. Like, I don't care if we stink our way for 120 minutes and win on penalties. I do not care because, you know, the memories will last forever. And do you know those, I was saying this yesterday on my channel, and I think people should really think about it. Like, those that are so disparaging towards Southgate, let's think, right? Think of all the documentaries we see of Italia 90 and all this when, you know, Gary Lineker's giving it the tears and Gazza's crying and all this. This tournament has been full of moments, massive moments. The Bellingham bicycle kick, the penalties, you know, the redemption for the Sakas and people of colour well, every single player was from a person of colour, right? So there's the redemption arc there as well after what happened against Italy. You've then got the Watkins 90th minute. All these moments, like, you need to be able to enjoy them. Just put away the agendas, because in 10, 15 years' time, when my grandkids are saying, you know what, Grandpa, you know, I've never seen England win something, I'll be like, sit down and enjoy these moments. Whereas those that are so hateful towards Southgate will be thinking, I can't really enjoy it because during that tournament, all I did was batter him. You know, you've got to enjoy the moments. It's different to club football. About the new contract, listen, win something and pass the baton on. That's for me who enjoys Southgate. I think maybe the tournament hit him hard with the beers getting thrown at him. We've seen after when he's talking, no, I just want to be loved. Maybe he might look at it and say, yeah, I think it is time to pass the baton on, regardless of what the FA want to do. But yeah, I'm just enjoying the ride. I think we should all just put aside agendas for Sunday, especially for Sunday, and really get behind them. Get behind them, man.
It's going to be a difficult game, man. I think Spain have been the best team in the tournament. I can't lie to you, man. They've been amazing. Got to stop Lamine Yamal. You've got to stop their players. But they've also got to stop our players as well. Do you know what I mean? But I just look at that midfield for me, and it's like, boy, it's going to be a tough one. Rodri, they've got more of a balanced midfield than us. I think personally, their midfield is a bit more balanced than us, and that's where the worry is for me. Is like, are we just going to be chasing shadows all game? You know what I mean? And that's the worry for me. If there's athleticism, don't get me wrong, we can outdo them, running, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Box to box, England could do that, but it's to get in the ball, man. Do you know what I mean? And it's like suffocating for 90 minutes. If they do that to us, it's going to be a long day, man. I really do, man. And that's what I'm hoping.
England should win. Excuse me, because they've got the best 11. I wouldn't take the Spain 11 over the England 11. But the reason that people don't think England will win is because Spain have got the better team. Hence why I come back to the manager. Now, if the manager wins us it, he shuts everybody up. And if he wants to sign and stay on, he deserves the right to, because he's won something for the first time since 66. But for me, I can't see it being good news if we do keep Gareth Southgate. And, you know, me and Joe have kind of disagreed about this and agreed about it all the time. I personally do not think I can't state facts here because we don't know that it would happen. But I would be amazed if a better manager wouldn't have got us a tournament by now. Because I look at the previous England sides, the golden generation, and we were coming up against some proper teams. I don't really think there's an amazing amount of nations at the moment. I mean, France, we all said were going to be favourites for this competition, stunk the tournament out. Spain are talking about, you know, no one had them to win it. I don't know anybody that had Spain to win it. Germany, everyone talked about them. They couldn't get through it. They couldn't get through this Spain side. So I would look at the nations at the moment and think, England will do well to get through some of these. Like, they've got some terrible sides. And then you look at the run that we had. Every time that we've come up against somebody that's half decent, Southgate has bombed us out. and that's what he's got to get over. This final, we've got to be. This is the only side that we've come up against in the whole of this tournament that's half good. And if we lose to this one, everyone's going to be like,
are we not taking too much credit away from the Dutch, though, Dan, there? Now, just because we've beat them, it's like, yeah, they're rubbish. They were rubbish.
No, they weren't rubbish. They weren't rubbish. But I didn't look at them and go...
And Switzerland knocked out France at the last Euros.
Yeah, but they also drew to Scotland, man. I mean, like, come on. Like,
we drew with, Serbia. It is what it is.
Exactly.
These things happen.
That's what I mean, because we ain't got the best guy in charge. Listen, I know people think I'm harsh, but I just say it how it is. I don't enjoy watching England in terms.
Did you enjoy against Holland, though?
Yeah, for the first time. That's the first time I've seen England play that way. If we continue to play that way, perhaps I can get behind it. But I've struggled, man. I have struggled, and I think it's the tactics that people. But do you know what? I'll say this. I actually quite like Southgate. The man.
That's what I'm saying.
Like him. I think he handles the media impeccably well. I think he's a good man management. Get him on the pitch, and I think he's pretty clueless, if I'm honest with you. I think he's pretty awful, right? I wouldn't want him anywhere near my club. If he said, right, I'm leaving England, I don't think, say he wins or loses, and he does go, I think he'll bloody stay by the sounds of it. But if he wins or loses, I'm going to go, see you later. Who the hell's having him? He's not going to go and get anywhere. He's going to go and manage Charlton or someone, isn't he? Let's be real.
You don't want Arteta, Dan. So, I mean, what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? And he's great.
As long as he don't come to United, man, that's the biggest thing for me.
But that's the thing. You can look at it with Arteta. It's the same thing. Win something and shut people up, man. And then no one has this conversation. This is the thing. Like, I rate what Arteta's done at Arsenal. I rate what Southgate has done at England. I don't think it's enough to get him across the line. And until they do that, I can't be proved. I've got to be proved wrong, Joe. That's the thing. If you already said you don't want Southgate at Leeds, you wouldn't take him at Leeds. So what sort of level of manager is he? And I agree with you. It's different. But we're talking about a level of management here that is not top level. And I just think what could be. Now, I'm not going to name the England managers I want, but look at the squad, man. Look at the squad.
Everyone hates Deschamps, right, for similar, and he's won a World Cup. But I don't think any of us would sit here and go, all right, well, I'll take him as well, because he also stinks up the joint. If we look at the actual games, look at Portugal were one of the favourites, also stunk up the joint. The difference between, say, like Roberto Martinez and Southgate is Southgate had the balls to take off his captain. Roberto Martinez doesn't have the balls to take off Ronaldo. Apart from Germany and Spain, it's not been great, has it? A lot of the teams have all played pretty similar, to be fair. I think Holland was the first team we came up against that didn't play a back five. You know what I mean? So it's been a bit of a rough ride. We've struggled to break teams down. We won't have that problem on Spain. Yes, they'll probably have more possession than us. But watch us go in transition. I think we're going to surprise a few people on Sunday, to be honest. I hope
we do. The one thing I always think back to with Southgate is we're quite lucky that we got him. As much as he's negative and as much as his football is depressing at times, he's completely changed England for the better. And I think the fact that he got in there kind of by luck with, obviously he's putting a lot of hard work, but we could have been living with Allardyce football at England. And it was only by, obviously, all the corruption that kind of went on with Big Sam and that. But there's no way Big Sam would have done what Southgate's done in terms of taking us to the games that he has and giving us the moments. I just don't think it would have happened. And obviously there was a bit of disappointment when it was given to Southgate at the time, because it was like, oh, what's he done? He's managed under 21s. But like, you look at it now and it looks like a stroke of genius. I think it's just, we look at the talent pool that we've got. And I think this is what you're getting to, Dan, is that it's just so underwhelming, isn't it? For the players we've got, we should be going out and playing like Spain. We should be going out playing our own style of football and dominating games, but we're just not doing it. And I think if we were going into this final and we'd played the whole tournament like Spain had, we'd be favourites by an absolute mile. Because I think you're right. I think we do have a better, deeper squad than Spain.
You know what it is? I think for me, I think Southgate's done enough for me. But it's like now, who takes them to the next level? It's like, you know what I mean? This is like, it's meant to be England's golden generation. You know what I mean? So it's like, we could actually dominate if we wanted to. But it comes down to, like you said there, grassroots football, etc., etc. There's a whole heap of things that are needed to be changed. But I think for me, the biggest one is just stopping Lamine Yamal. You know what I mean? Their wingers, I think the midfield battle there. Their defense, Cucurella, Drifty. You know what I mean? We got to target him. I know he's been playing well this tournament, but you kind of have that kind of tendencies, and then Nacho, is it Nacho? Is it? I think, yeah, Nacho might play, to be fair.
Lemon, is it Lemon?
Lemon, yeah.
Leno, man. Yeah, I'm not
Bro,
sure.
man, we
What's
got to
happened
do
with him.
something, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be there for us, man.
Carl
90 minutes,
back
50,
as
man.
well, no?
90 minutes.
Yeah,
It's going to be a tough one. Big up everyone, by the way.
Big up,
I
man.
just I don't know, boys. Obviously, I was torn during the England-Holland game because I felt Dutch for this tournament. So it was kind of a win-win, but I did want Holland to go through based on there being a few Liverpool players in the team, obviously. I keep forgetting Joe Gomez is even in the England team. He hasn't used him once, and he was the best English left-back in the league last season. Makes no sense. But I look at the situation when we're on home soil against an okay Italy team and we didn't win. That doesn't give me any hope to be a very good Spanish team on foreign soil. Do you get what I mean? So this is a tough one. But then again, maybe England like being the underdogs, because I think we do go into this as underdogs, right? So maybe it will be better to be the underdog. There's less pressure. There's less expectation, even though they know, obviously, the whole country wants them to win. But the world are thinking, yeah, Spain will get this done. So maybe there's less pressure from outside noise. Trippier might work against Lamar because he's right-footed. And when a player is cutting inside, we saw with Joey at left-back last season, it actually does help a lot when you've got a good inverted winger who likes to cut inside. Just to use Arsenal as an example, I think Joey did an excellent job against Saka both times we played Arsenal, because every time Saka tried to cut inside, it was onto Joey's stronger foot, which made it easier for Joey to defend it. Maybe Trippier can have that with Yamal. People are saying Walker up against Williams. He likes to go up against the tricky, pacey winger who's direct. Yeah, but that wasn't 34-year-old Walker who has had a bad tournament in large. So let's see what version of Walker turns up against arguably one of the best wingers in the world at the moment.
I think he's probably been England's worst player that's played regular minutes, Walker, if I'm honest. I think he's been bad.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that. So, I mean, can he handle Williams? He's been one of the best players in the tournament. We'll see, innit? I don't have a clue who's going to win this game, bro. I wouldn't put money on this for love nor money. I promise you. I have absolutely no idea who's going to win this game. But if you're going talent for talent, they've got more match winners, I think, because it's shown throughout the tournament. But obviously, Bellingham is clutch. Harry Kane, if he's on form, is clutch.
On his day as well, he could be excellent.
Yeah, on his day. Although, should he be dropped for this game?
Do you know what the mad thing is? Yeah, if Harry Kane scores, he gets golden boot. It's mad.
Yeah, no. So the motivation's there, isn't it?
Does he?
Yeah, it's only 3 goals. I think Danny almost got
Olmo,
it. Yeah, but he's got more assists, so that's why he's top or something. So yeah, 1 goal wins it, man. Harry Kane, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
No, if we don't win it, would you accept Southgate needs to go?
Yeah. But I've also said as well, Danny, even if we win it, I think, look, go out on a high, Gareth. And then I said to you the other day, go out on a high and then pass it, like Saeed said, pass it to someone who's going to play exciting, expansive football and help us dominate, because the squad is there now to dominate. Have a period of dominance like the Germans have, like the Spanish have. Let's go do that, because the team is there. And there's even still more players coming through that'll obviously make their way into the World Cup squad. I mean, just look 6 months ago, whenever it was, no one expected this from Kobe Mainoo, and now look at him. He's a guaranteed starter. So, I'm going to put Archie Gray's name in there because he's absolutely phenomenal. But I know he's not played Prem minutes yet, but just watch. So, yeah, I agree with you, mate. Just, Gareth, thank you for everything, genuinely, because for me, as an English fan, he's given me my best times ever. And I just want to see I've always said I would love to see my nation win a major tournament in my lifetime. They don't come around, so give me that. Thank you very much. Now go get someone. I mean, dare we say even Pep? Go get Pep after he's left City and dominate. Why not?
Is that not the problem though, guys? Is that because I'm hearing that Lee Carsley will be the one that they'd give it to if he did leave, because they want to continue
Lee
how
Carsley?
they brought Southgate in the first place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you know the
Okay.
under-21, so they want to do the same thing that they did with
As
Southgate.
long as it ain't
they
Frank
promote-
Lampard. Man.
I'm telling you, that's who I've said this, and it keeps me up at night because I noticed he's been round St George's Park, sneaking his way in. He's doing his speaking well on BBC and that. Even Gary Lineker said, "Why not Lampard on a podcast the other day?" I'm thinking, don't do that. Please don't do that. Like, go get the best in class because you have the best in class in terms of the team. So go just give money because people like Hodgson I think they had the highest salary in international managers at one point. If you're giving him that, go get someone like Pep and play him the top dollar, man.
Yeah. I think that's the difficulty, though. Who will it be? Yeah. Was Lee Carsley in charge when they won the under-21s? I can't remember.
No, that was Boyfroyd, isn't it? Was it Boyfroyd?
Oh, it might
Eddie
have been Eddie
Boyfroyd,
Boyfroyd, yeah.
Eddie Boyfroyd's been around that time as well.
Yeah,
so
see, Carsley doesn't even really have the pedigree to be the England manager, even though he's doing well at under-21. So that would be a real strange...
Go get Klopp, man. Go get Klopp.
I don't know if Southgate had the pedigree either. I'm not sure what he'd won as under-21 manager.
At least he played at club level, though, down to a certain level. Do you get like at least
Lee Carsley did as well.
No, I mean managed, sir, because you know obviously Southgate
I see, yeah.
And he was still a decent manager. Do you get what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know who would they want to go down the foreign route again. They had two of the best managers ever in Ericsson and
unless you go get Klopp,
and it didn't work.
Jurgen Klopp, would he take the job? Do you reckon?
I think that's all Klopp wants. Yeah, if I'm being honest, I don't think Klopp wants club football anymore. I remember an interview he did when he was at Liverpool a few years back, and he said he doesn't want to be in his 60s.
But it's completed football, though. He's completed it. It's completed.
Oh, so international football is perfect.
Lee Carsley has won the under-21 championship, by the way.
Sorry, bro?
He has won the under-21 championship, Lee Carsley.
Oh, it was him.
Oh, it was him then. Oh, my bad.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, then fair enough. I guess that is.
He might have won the under-17s or something then. Who won the under-17s World Cup? Something. Is that Eddie Boyfriend or something? I don't know.
Not sure, man.
Real
talk. Pedigree.
I'd rather keep Southgate than get somebody.
Was
the point of replacing him with him? Like, it's just ridiculous. That's the case. Like, real talk, man. Like, if it's Graham Potter or something like that, I could get it if they want to keep English. Go Eddie Howe. Go for the best. Why do we have to go for this? I don't get it. If it's Frank Lampard, I'd rather keep Southgate. Real talk. Like, I just don't get. Well, we've got to go and get the best, man. And if it's Pep,
Steve
not Pep,
Cooper's
it's Klopp. If it's not Klopp, you go and get like.
It was Steve Cooper who won that under-17 side.
Across the line, man. That's what needs to happen, in my opinion. But see what Southgate does on Sunday, man.
Yeah. I was a Steve Cooper. Okay.
Yes, yeah. That's why at Forest he signed a load of the kids he'd had, like Hudson.
White.
Yeah, Gibbs White. Yeah.
You know what? Steve Cooper's a good shout. You know, he's a good manager. I like Steve.
Yeah.
Leicester now, isn't he?
He would be a good shout.
Well, that's the job.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see, man. But ultimately, is there any change you would make? I think for me, it's only going to be Luke Shaw, maybe for Trippier. That's probably it. Any other
I don't
change?
think he changes.
I don't think he'll change anything.
I feel like he's just going to stick by his man. If Luke Shaw gets 45 again, like I think you take it because every time Luke Shaw's been on the pitch, we've looked better, haven't we? It's just Dan made a good. Like,
he destroyed Leicester.
Drifty actually said it about the inverted.
Has he just gone to Leicester?
Yeah, Leicester. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
but it might be that an inverted fullback, obviously against an inverted winger, is actually a tactical solution to stopping someone like Yamal.
Yeah, man. Big up Lee Gunner for the raid as well, by the way. Big up to you.
I think
but
we
now,
need
listen,
to
let's
start
see.
Shaw, you know. Shaw is key. I would start Shaw personally. If we can get 90 minutes out of him.
You get a balance at least on that side, innit?
Yeah.
You know why though? They will start Trippier because Yamal will cut in on that side, and then he'll have the right foot to defend against him. That's why he'll go with Trippier at left. I bet you.
And also personality wise as well. I think he's really trusted in Trippier to add something to this squad in terms of drive and fight and desire. I think he spoke on that early on in the tournament as well when people sort of questioned why he was playing there. So
he'll say, won't he? This team got me here, so this team deserves to start.
And do you know what? He's trusted in all of these players, and Harry Kane made a really good point saying that everyone, no matter how long they play, is ready and they can win the tournament in the limited amount of game time that they get given. And they've really bought into that as a squad this time. I think we've seen that with Ivan Toney in 30 seconds. We've seen that with Ollie Watkins in 20 minutes, 10 minutes. We've seen it with Cole Palmer. We've seen it with even Anthony Gordon when he got a minute, which is disgraceful. He absolutely gave it his all for that minute that he was on the pitch in the injury time. So, yeah, look, the issue for me is the ones where it's like Joe Gomez don't even get a look in. I struggle with them. I struggle with the way he sort of handled the Trent situation as well. But on the whole, I think he's got quite a tight-knit group here. And I think he trusts anyone to come in, whether it's Luke Shaw, whether it's Trippier. One of them, someone on that pitch will get their moment and he trusts them to take it, whether that's defensively or offensively, like stopping a goal or...
All right, I'm going to go with 2-1 Spain. Joe, what are you saying?
I think England win on penalties. Yeah, I think it'll be long. It'll be drawn out. I think we'll win on penalties. I don't know what that'll look like in normal time, extra time, but I think it goes all the way to pens, and then we just beat them, man. Yeah.
Potts, what are you saying?
2-1 England in extra time.
Love that.
Extra time. Dan, what are you saying?
I'm gonna say England in extra time, hopefully. And I genuinely think it'll be like a hold-on job. So maybe like a 1-0 in extra time or something. I hope we can stop Spain scoring. I really do.
Yeah. And Drifty, what are you saying?
Well, I'm so on the fence, I have no idea. But if you're really going to twist my arm, Spain 2-1. If you're really going to twist my arm. But I think it could be England 2-1. I really don't know, man. I really don't know.
Yeah, obviously Spain and that. But,
Ala Madrid and all that.
3-0 Spain, 3-0, 4-0, 4-1.
I think the issue with Spain, is that when they score, they're very good at like scoring very quickly straight after as well. I seem to remember in the 2012 final against Italy, they were like rapid in terms of when they scored their goals. I think like Torres came on in that, or Mata came on in that game and created like 2 goals to like just take the game away from Italy in seconds. And I think they did it the other night against France as well. They obviously went 1-0 down, and within like minutes pretty much of their first goal, they were 2-1 up. Like it didn't take long, did it? So I think that's the issue with Spain is they can make the game get away from you very quickly.
Yeah. Let's see, man. Let's see Sunday, people, 8 p.m., man. And the whole world's going to be watching. Well, everyone in England, all 60 million people, probably going to be watching that game. It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. So we'll see. Let's talk on transfer news, guys. 1,000 people in here. Shout out to Lee for the raid before. Please, guys, hit the like button. We're not even on 300 likes yet. Should be on at least 500 likes by now. So if you can, people, hit the thumbs up button and like the video. Let's talk on a bit of transfer news. Arsenal, man. Yo, I don't know what's going on, man. This Merino guy, man. You're after him. What's the latest, Dan Potts? What's going on? Calafiori. I think that should be happening soon. No, is that just what's going on with that one?
Yeah, that one's stalling at the moment over price. We're trying to save £2.50 again.
No way.
Done, man. It's doing my head in this Edu and Arteta stuff, man. It just takes too long. Everything that should be an easy deal by now, man. Weren't we linked with him 2 weeks ago? Fabrizio Romano's getting fed up of recycling the same tweet, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Just get it done. Jesus, man. But yeah, they want 50. We want to offer 40 plus add-ons. I think it will get sorted, but it's just going to take a few more days, it seems. But hopefully, if that one falls through, it will be an absolute L for the club because he wants to come. Personal terms are agreed. It's just trying to agree a fee with Bologna. In terms of Merino, I don't know much about Mikel Merino. And Real Sociedad, we were linked with Zubamendi, who apparently doesn't want to leave the club. And we're now linked with Mikel Merino, 28, 6'2", similar to a kind of Xhaka type player, I suppose, in midfield. He's got those kind of attributes. I think he looks a good, steady player. £25 million is rumoured to be the price they want. So I could see somebody coming in alongside Mikel Merino. If he's a £25 million midfielder, you've got to be looking at more if you're Arsenal to add to that midfielder. But from what I see, I like some of the attributes that he's got. I don't know an awful lot about him, but Arteta really likes him. And he's had an okay Euros, hasn't he? Scored the winner against Germany, obviously, and he's put himself about in that midfield, which, let's be real, if you're getting into that midfield, you must be a decent player because it's pretty phenomenal in Spain, isn't it? So, yeah, doesn't excite me, but I think he'd be a good signing. Also, Calafiori, I think I like what's potential for him. I think at left back, he can definitely get into the Arsenal setup there. I think him and Timber at the moment, we don't know what's happening with Timber with the long-term injury, so that could be a good signing. Can cover for Gabriel as well if he gets injured at left-sided centre-back. So I quite like that. The goalkeeper situation is a joke, if I'm honest with you, bruv. We're looking at third-choice goalkeepers with Dan Bentley.
Yeah, now what's going on with that one? So you went for a Wolves third choice, then you went to an 18-year-old. So that don't make sense for me, that one there.
Dan, is it true that it's only like £50,000 you offered?
Yeah, bro. Like this is why.
That's real. That's not like a rumor.
No,
that's real.
It's not. Apparently, it's not a rumor. Apparently, it's true.
Well, 50 grand. Yeah, does that just pay off his contract? Though? Is that all that is?
You can't even get a toilet in London for that. You know what I mean?
Mate, you couldn't even buy a Bentley car with 50k. Do you know what I mean? Let alone a damn Bentley. Like,
can't even buy a brand new A1, can you?
Honestly, bro, it was mad. The thing is, Wolves signed him for £35,000, 35k, which is why Arsenal have gone in with 50k, thinking they're going to go, oh yeah, we'll take that.
That's brilliant. That's
when
brilliant.
They said we wanted £1 million, we've gone in with 50k. It's absolute embarrassment.
Is he Wolves' backup keeper, Dan? Or
yeah, he's the Wolves' backup keeper.
Right, so that's outrageous, isn't it?
They've obviously been insulted, haven't they? And we're like, we better not go back in with a bid there. So, like, they're now trying to get this 18-year-old Ajax Tom Sefton, who is the under-20 England goalkeeper. I've never heard of him, but apparently that is it. He's going to be a third-choice goalkeeper. He's not going to come in to back up Raya. Let's be real. We're trying to get this homegrown, quote, a Scott Carson-esque type goalkeeper in. Yeah. That's what we're trying to do. So we can just tick the homegrown off. You know, copy and Pep. He can just sit there on the homegrown quote in the Champions League squad, tick another homegrown player. We're never going to see the kid ever. And apparently he's been tempted by the progression route at Arsenal. Well, he's 18 and, you know, we'll see. I'd rather go and get an 18-year-old like that who's got potential to actually have a future at the club instead of Dan Bentley, who's going to sit on the bench, never play, and probably be there till he's 40 or whatever, man. So, yeah, let's see what we do with it in the goalkeeper situation. Bit frustrating that everyone's asking us to go and get a striker, a winger, and a midfielder, and we linked first of all with 2 backup goalkeepers for a price of about 100k, and stalling on 40 million for a defender. It's not the best of starts, but there's a lot of outgoings at Arsenal that I'm interested in. Obviously, Tavares is looking to go to Lazio now with an obligation to buy for 7 million. Lokonga's gone to Seville, loan with an option to buy of 12 million. That's good. Get rid of those sort of players. Eddie and Nketiah, kind of bit of a bidding war potentially in Premier League sides that are of the lower ilk, and sides like Fulham, Wolves, Palace, West Ham, all interested. Nelson interested in West Ham and Palace, and Smith Rowe to Fulham. So there's quite a lot of rumours in terms of outgoing. So I expect to see a bit of a clear out at Arsenal. And then we bring in what I think needs to be more exciting than what it's been already. So, yeah, I have to watch this space, bruv. See what happens, innit?
Do you know Gabriel? Is his cards marked if you're bringing in Calafiori, do you think, or what? Because I know he was your best defender last season, but he's predominantly a centre-back, right? That's going to be his position long-term.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good question because I had a couple of people on. I can't remember who was on my show the other day. I think it might have been Staffy. Said, I think Calafiori's coming in to replace Gabriel long-term, and Saliba will be the right centre-back and Calafiori will be the left-sided centre-back. Now, if that's the case, that's cool, but that's got to be a few years away yet because Gabriel was our best defender last season and the partnership is phenomenal. If you go and break Gabriel and Saliba up, I just don't think you need to do that. So Calafiori, I think, will come in and be that left side. The left side at Arsenal has been pretty poor all of last season. It affected Martinelli's performance, who dropped completely. Trossard ended up getting back into the side because of how poor Martinelli was. And then the left 8 position was played by Rice, Havertz, Fabio Vieira, Smith Rowe. Too many different players. We need somebody in there that's definitely that Granit Xhaka replacement. And then obviously up top, we need a striker. And left back, Calafiori, I think, will come in and be that. If we him and Timber, to be fair. So yeah, man, let's see what happens.
You know what? You gotta realize it, man. Like this rants and shocks with it. Like Arsenal to be aggressive. Arsenal this year, I don't know what they're waiting for, man. They gotta be aggressive, man. I don't know if I said it a couple of months ago, but I'm like, this summer, Arsenal gotta make it count, man, because it's like, bro, like you can't have another year of not winning the title. This has got to be the year where Arsenal win this title. Like, surely, man. Do
you know what? I have a bit of sympathy for him, though, bro. And I can't believe I'm even going to say this because of the rivalry. But he's got to a point now where all managers struggle, even the top managers. He's done everything to get where he is. And now it's only about one piece. And that piece can be very hard to find. He thought he'd done it with Havertz. We all knew that wasn't going to work, but he thought he had it. Now he's trying to figure out where exactly that final piece is, because he's got to a level and he just needs that one piece to, you know what I mean? That one final piece.
Striker, that's a bit. Striker, that's.
But if he buys a striker, bro, what does he do with Havertz? You can't pay 65 mil for Havertz and put him on a bench. Arsenal don't have money like that. So he's kind of probably going to have to go with Havertz again. He's got a fetish with goalkeepers. I don't know what that's all about. Bro. But he's got that. And I do feel a bit bad for him because he thought Rice was it. He thought Havertz was it. So did a lot of us. Arsenal were favourites, right? At the beginning of the last season. Where does he find that final piece of the puzzle to go and win? So I do have a little bit of sympathy for him because he's probably looking around thinking, who is the guy? Who is the final piece of this puzzle to be able to overtake Pep and win the league?
But do you do your homework though, don't you? You do your homework all throughout the season. You kind of have your scout network. You know what I mean? This is where the scouting come into place. And they say, right, hold on a minute. You know, we've got these players here. And then they present it to the end of the year and say, right, go and choose between these options. You know, it shouldn't be his job.
I hear that. But then every time he's done that, it hasn't quite been the piece. They thought that Zinchenko was going to be the piece. They brought in Timber. That could have been, but obviously he got the injury.
Jesus
now
as well.
Like if they bring in Calafiore, Timber might not even play. Like I don't know. Like I don't know how he finds that final piece. It is the hardest part.
I think we want. I think we know who we want. I think we all want Alexander Isak, but that's not going to happen if Newcastle.
No, you got to be realistic.
You got to be realistic. So where is that final piece? And I've said this a couple of times. I don't actually see a Declan Rice window. I don't see a signing coming in that everyone goes, there we go. Now Arsenal already. I don't think there's players out there available that I can see realistically coming to Arsenal under Arteta right now that I think can get us across the line. So I think it's going to be really difficult. And I also believe that, you know, there is a lot of people laughing at the goalkeeper side. Oh, they don't need a left back or a goalkeeper first. The window is just open, man. So we've got to wait for it to shut first before we get too over the top. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people losing their heads and stuff. I get it. It's frustrating. We want it in nice and early. But who else has done stuff then? Like the window's dead, man. They're all playing in the Euros and Copa America. So nobody has gone, wow, look at Arsenal. They're left behind. Look at what United, Chelsea, Tottenham, City are all doing. Liverpool are doing. Who have Liverpool
To be fair, we've got Zirkzee.
Yeah, United are moving, but you'd expect that, Saeed, was one, where you are, and two, you got a new structure in place that has got to react and do something now. So I'd expect Man United to be the busiest this summer, because if they're as great as they're saying they are structure-wise, they've got to prove it to go and get these players in, because they're miles behind, man. So I expect that. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't been like, wow, look at what Arsenal were doing yet. But I also haven't been the other side, like, what a disgrace, sack them all, like, this is a joke. So we've got to give it time, man, see what happens. And yeah, Arteta's going to be under pressure if we don't win something this year, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them.
He's got to be sacked if he doesn't win, did you say, bro?
Say again, bro.
Sacked,
did you say Arteta's got to be sacked if he doesn't win this year, did you say?
I didn't say that, but there's a lot of people that would suggest that, and I can't sit there and say that I would. I can't sit there and say that I would 100% be able to defend that statement, because, you know, not defend that statement, sorry, because how long do we take before we get across the line? You know, it's the same what I said with Joe earlier with Southgate. Like, how long do we keep waiting? Do we give him another 5 years? Do we give him another 200 million? You know, do we wait until he gets to 1.5 billion and 7 seasons in?
I think the longest I'd be prepared to wait for Arteta is 1 season after Pep. That's as far as I'd give it. If Pep is to leave in the next 2 seasons, right, then if he gets a clear shot at the league with the best prepared side, then if he wasn't to win it, if he hadn't already, I would say that's as far as I would have any patience with him, because I feel like for any manager to beat Pep is like asking to do almost the impossible job, because you're talking about not being able to compete or not signing that player this summer or something. There's a high chance that City just go and spend another 60, 70 million on the right player to fit in as a replacement. You know, like they did it last season, didn't they? And they just signed Kovacic and Nunes to just try and replace Gundogan. How much money was that? It's probably like 90 million on 2 centre midfielders. Huh?
You know what I mean? And they still won it as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Arsenal aren't in that position. I think the issue is that with Arteta and everything, the pressure's on. But I think Arsenal just need to believe this season that they can go and win it. and they need to be acted in a manner, like you said, Si, this summer, where they're aggressive and they identify a transfer target who can change their fortunes and go and get him, no matter how much it costs, and bring him in. I think that's what they need to do. Like they did it with Rice last year, and there's no doubt that Rice had a positive impact on the team, like massively. And I think if they did it with one more player, they're putting themselves in such competitive.
The only thing I'll say though, Dan, right, is like a lot of people say this. I'll wait until Pep goes, and then Arsenal might be able to win. Saying, mate, was Pep in the Europa League when Arsenal were? No. Pep wasn't in the Europa League, so it wasn't Pep's fault that we didn't win the Europa League. Like last season, who won the League Cup? Who won the FA Cup? It weren't Pep.
But the issue is, I think last year, Dan, Arteta was fixated on the Premier League last season, and he literally treated them as second-rate competitions. And I don't think he
should not have done that.
I completely agree with you.
Do you know if Arteta wins the Carabao Cup, it still won't be enough for Arsenal fans?
No, he has to next season because of how he failed.
It's Mickey Mouse. We want Premier League. Where Arsenal? You know what I mean? It'll never be enough, unfortunately. And
it depends, though, Joe, because a trophy should be enough, right? A trophy should be enough.
You know,
if we go through a title challenge and we get Champions League and all this kind of stuff, right? Then fair play. We get a trophy. You're lifting. It's successful. When it's like, well, we come second. I know we got dumped out of everything. Honestly, I find it bizarre. I grew up on winning trophies, so I'm a bit spoilt, right? George Graham and Arsene Wenger did it. So maybe people will look at me and go, that are 15, 16 years old, go, well, we're still trusting a process here. I grew up on winning. It was ruthless back in the day, right? So maybe that's what it is, and maybe people are different. But for me, we have to win a trophy for it to be a successful season. None of this, we got top 4 football, that's really good for our level. No, man. I mean, it is for if you're a West Ham fan. Yeah, get top 4 in the League Cup. That's an amazing season for them. But we are Arsenal, man. We're not West Ham, right? So we got to start raising the standards. And when you give someone,
but that's the old Arsenal. It's not now. It's 2024. When was the last time you won a major honour?
20 years.
That? Well, there you go. But that's two decades ago.
We've waited long enough, Joe. That's
well,
what
I have to have
this.
No, but I have to have this conversation with Leeds United fans and tell them, listen, for the last 2 decades we've been in the Championship. Unfortunately, folks, we are a Championship club right now. And Arsenal fans, regardless of how close you've got, if we're being real, it's been 20 years since you won something major. So for me, like, you have to reset your expectations, I think. Unfortunately, you can't win the top trophy every season, but that's just my opinion. I think he's very harshly treated, personally, because he's done a good job, him and Edu. But listen, that's just my thoughts. You know this anyway, Dan. We have this debate all the time.
Yeah, we do, man. Yeah.
I think he's a good manager. He's done well. And the great point is, someone mentioned it earlier, sorry, but at the end of the day, all these clubs underneath City now, right, are in a rat race for when Pep leaves. So that's why, for me, Man United should have got rid of Ten Hag and start to get ready for the next push. Same with Chelsea. I don't know if Maresca's right, and if it's wrong, then when Pep goes, they're going to have to restart again. I almost feel it's all right. Who's going to be next? Who's going to be ready for when Pep goes and it drops? Then bang, we're away we go. And listen, Don Perez, we're not comparing Arsenal or whatever. I'm just giving you, like, from some Leeds fans' perspective, we're still like a top club in the Premier League, and the facts are we're not. From Arsenal fans' perspective, you should be winning things. Well, the last time you won something decent was 20 years ago. So there you need to sort of like get back in your box and maybe think, actually, he's got a point. We don't win things anymore. We ain't that club. That's all I would say.
And you're also competing against the team in Manchester City that have only been stopped, or Pep's Manchester City have only been stopped by 2 managers. One was Conte when he barely had his foot under the door, and the other one was Jurgen Klopp, which was 4 or 5 years after Klopp walked in the door at Anfield. And I just think his task is so difficult. If Pep Guardiola, I see what you're saying, Dan, that you can't wait for Pep, and I completely agree with that, by the way. Arsenal have to believe they can win it this season, whether Pep's there or not. What I'm saying is, though, is my patience would only extend that far, because I believe that Arsenal are the second best club in the Premier League at this moment in time.
Yeah, there's no doubt in that, Dan.
And
there's no doubt in
when Pep vacates Manchester City, what I'm saying is, if Arteta, basically what I'm suggesting is that when Pep leaves, Arsenal should probably have a major trophy under their belt and be ready to assume a period of dominance in the Premier League, whilst that gap is like void of Pep Guardiola not being at City. But who knows, mate, honestly. But Arsenal have to be there and thereabouts again next season. and one League Cup or FA Cup isn't going to be enough for you, because Arteta's already done that, mate. And to be honest, like, you're not in a position where you're Man United and that makes your season if you have a season like they've just had, or if Chelsea had gone and won an FA Cup or something this season, we would have probably taken that. But Arsenal, you're in a position where you've got to be fighting for a Champions League and a Premier League, haven't you?
Dan, where do you rank Klopp all-time Premier League managers?
Probably like 4th.
Okay, same for you, Potsy.
4th ahead who?
Probably ahead
no,
of.
I wouldn't put him that high.
No,
I put him like 8th, 9th, something like that.
Would you that far down?
Behave, Saeed.
Nah, that's a bit low.
No, that's
not
harsh.
But my point is, the point is, right? Right, so if he's in the top 5, he's in the top 5, but he's won 1 Premier League in how many years?
Yeah, I think. Do you know what it is, Joe?
This is what I'm saying, though. So, like,
Joe, it was the point tallies that he got, though.
Yeah, but still, I get told, well, it doesn't matter being second. I'm getting told by people who hate Southgate, we'll finish second. You know, yeah, I agree with you, Dan. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right. Well, okay. Klopp got enough points in some of his seasons that he finished runner-up that would have won him the title in every other season, and he's against number 1 in Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Let me come back in here, man, because this is the thing that does annoy me, right? But Klopp's only won 1 in 8 years, whatever it was. Jurgen Klopp took over Liverpool in an absolute mess. Drifty will agree with me, right? Their starting 11 was worse than the Arsenal starting 11 that Arteta had to take over, right? They had a shambolic 11. And Klopp in his first full season got top 4 football. We've waited 4 years for that under Arteta, right? Then he started winning League Cups, FA Cups, Champions League, got to another Champions League final, 3 Champions League finals, by the way. Then he finally won the league. Then he's won the domestic cup double, probably a few minutes away from a bloody quadruple at one stage, Klopp was. We can't compare this, man. And I'll tell you why we can't compare it, because Mikel Arteta come in having never managed anybody. Jurgen Klopp come in having been successful twice in Germany with 2 different clubs. So for me, I just think it's mad when we look what Klopp did.
So he's more likely to get 4th in his 3rd season, though, right? Because he's got success, you know.
But
you
yeah,
see what I'm saying?
Listen, potentially you can throw that, but where I'm coming from is Jurgen Klopp, the process at Liverpool and the process at Arsenal. For me, it's just not comparable. I can't compare it because we have gone with a process, and this is me looking ahead of Arteta now. We have trusted Mikel Arteta over someone who's proven. So that was why I was against the project so far.
What major decisions, right? And then I don't know the answer to this. I'm just thinking of what major decisions has he got wrong? Because I straight away I think of Aubameyang, and he probably got grief to high heaven for that. And guess what? Where's Aubameyang playing now? It was the right decision. He stunk the joint since and not had a good.
I'll tell you what, though, he did well after though.
No, he did well at Marseille.
He went to Barca. Okay, yeah, did okay. But after that, where's he? You know, I think he made the right decision there. So
It's not the fact that he let Aubameyang go, because for me, if you want to let a guy go that's disrespecting you, apparently, then you go do that. Who's his replacement? Where is he? I'm still waiting for him 3 years later. So where is he? Someone tell me who he is. Is it Jesus? Because he's got that one wrong. Because he hasn't replaced Aubameyang at all.
But it's easy now to say that. But yous were all bouncing when Jesus first came in. Oh, he's got that winning mentality. He's taking us to the next level. Yeah, okay, you need to move on again.
Will do that, right? There'll be a certain section of the fan base, 100%, they'll get excited by that. But I had to see Jesus kick a ball. I never saw him score more than 14 goals for City. So I wasn't bouncing around thinking that's a 30-goal striker. I've always been waiting for that guy. We've had 8 goalkeepers when we sold Emi Martinez, who was our best goalkeeper, and now he's playing at Villa and he's one of the better ones. We've had 8 goalkeepers now. It was the best one when he got there, and we're still trying to replace him.
That's the worst thing he's done since he
That was a stupid decision, right? Yeah. We've still, in my opinion, there's still not been enough for me to say, do you know what? This guy will take us across the line. Joe, you're right. There's a lot of things he's done really well. I love the fact that I go to the games now and it's a nice place. There's a nice feel about it. It's buzzing. There's no toxicity.
Ashburton Army and all that.
I get all that. Ashburton Army, right?
Boys, man, the boys.
So there's definitely some positives, and there's a lot of them, right? We've now got to a stage where we're there. But I need him to prove that he ain't a Brendan Rodgers and that he can be a Klopp and go and get us across the line. And he might be a Brendan Rodgers. We don't know this. He might be a nearly there guy, and we might need to go and get somebody in like Simone Inzaghi, Diego Simeone, Carlo Ancelotti. Name me managers you want. I don't know. Ones with CVs that say, oh, I win. To go, right, now let's get Arsenal winning. And I need to know that ain't... I want this to work, bro, so bad. I want Arsenal winning under Arteta. It'll be an amazing story. Yeah, he's come in. He's a young manager. It's his first ever job. He's gone and taken Arsenal from here to there, and now we're lifting trophies, Champions League, Premier Leagues. It'll be an unbelievable thing, right? Of course, I want it, but I can't sit there and go, "That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen." La 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 la. Everyone, shut up. Arteta's the best since sliced bread. I can't do that like some Arsenal fans. You've got to be real about what you're seeing, and there needs to be evidence for me to prove that you're going to be able to go and do that, man. And I just have my doubts about it. I really do. Right? So there's certain things about like last season. We see it all working. We get to Aston Villa. He changes the system against Aston Villa at Bayern Munich. Boom. Season done. Champions League out. Premier League finished. Why did he do that? Like no one can explain it to me. Then he reverts back. Win. Oh, it ain't enough. Maybe I should have kept doing that against Bayern Munich and Villa. Then we would have won the league. Like, why does he do that? Season before that, bad in-game management mistakes. Leaves Zinchenko on at Anfield. Gets skinned. It's 2-2 and we're done. And then Tierney comes on afterwards, which was really pissed me off, actually. I thought just leave Zinchenko
It's the pressure, bro. It's the pressure, bro. So to cut you, this is what makes you an elite level manager. And it's the difference between good managers and elite managers. How do you handle the pressure? What do you do when your back's against the wall? How much sleep did you get the night before the biggest game of your life, etc., etc.? These are the things, because he probably was up all night overthinking it. Then he makes that mistake. You don't win the game. Essentially, that's where you didn't win the league. Makes that mistake in the Champions League, you go out to Bayern Munich. Like, this is what separates the elite. And even though he's done a good job, I think he has to go if he doesn't win the league this year. And it's purely in the fact that this ain't the same City team that everybody will be going up against. I'm livid, even though I understand why Klopp left, that he left. Because if he'd have had one more year left in him, I think we win the league this year. Because I think Pep is vulnerable. 4 in a row. How are the squad going to be motivated? Rodri ran into the ground coming off the back of a tournament where he reached the final. He's going to be knackered. Are they going to be able to get back up DM? Looks like De Bruyne is leaving. Bernardo Silva's leaving. They're going to be even more vulnerable than when Gundogan and Mahrez and that left last year. So even though they're always going to be City, Arteta has to win it this year. He has to win it this year, man. Are Man City really going to be don't get me wrong, Pep is the type of guy.
It's a motivation, isn't it? Yeah, it's true.
But Pep even said himself, he's going at the end of this year. So unless his final year at City is the motivation, which I guess it could be, that Man City team has done everything. They've won a treble. They've won 4 in a row. They're the Centurions. They've done everything. How are they supposed to motivate themselves? If we're just being honest, to go again. Arsenal are hungry. Arsenal need this. That Arsenal have to win the league this year. Arsenal have to, and I'm not just saying that to put pressure on because I want to see them fail if they don't or whatever. If Arsenal don't win the league, it's the biggest failure. I think it will be a bigger failure than the past 2 years. 100%. You have to win it this year. There's no excuse anymore.
Yeah, let's see. Let's find out, man. It's going to be a big summer, man. So we'll have to wait and see. Guys, keep liking the video. Still 1,000 people in the building. We've not even hit 400 likes yet. So big up to everyone who's watching. But yeah, smash a like on the video. Drifty, what's going on with Van Dijk, man? Is it just BS? Like, is it just kind of like, you know, he talked about his future and that. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's going on with Liverpool in terms of Van Dijk?
I don't think we should read too much into it, but obviously I'm a little bit concerned because obviously it's Van Dijk is our captain. He was emotional after the game, and understandably, because if you do go back and look at it, like everyone's happy England went through, but Holland were kind of robbed with the penalty shout. So I can understand why he's frustrated, and you got to remember on top of that, he's coming off a frustration of playing in the Premier League where there's terrible referees who keep making mistakes every week as well. So I think he was just a bit emotional and vexed in the moment. The fact that he mentioned the club part is a little bit. If he was only talking about international football, then I probably wouldn't be bothered. Think, maybe he's going to retire from international football. But the fact that he mentioned club in the statement, I was thinking, has that slipped out by accident, or is he contemplating leaving the Premier League? Because obviously he won't go anywhere else in the Prem, but maybe he might go back to Holland, maybe one last swan song at Barcelona or whatever. So I do worry about whether he would go. So we're just gonna have to wait until he comes back. New time at Liverpool, new manager. When Slot spoke to him, and then he was talking in one of the Liverpool interviews he did, he had a smile on his face when he mentioned speaking with Van Dijk. So I don't think the conversation went bad. Otherwise, I don't think he would have had any enthusiasm about the conversation. But you just never know, do you? You just never know. Maybe Virgil's thinking, look, I want to leave while Klopp's not here. I don't really see, he's 33 coming up 34, so he hasn't got long left. He might be thinking, this is my last contract as well. Are Liverpool going to be willing to give him 200 grand a week again? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't care about Liverpool transfers at the moment. I care about the fact that Mo, Virgil, and Trent don't have their contracts sorted. When we sort that out, then I'll be worried about the other stuff. I need to know if Virgil's staying. I need to know Trent is staying. And then we can start building from there. So am I worried about Virgil? Yeah. Am I overly worried? Not at the moment. But I don't like the idea of him thinking club football, he's got to assess his situation. From a fan.
It just sounded a bit weird because I was just like, yo, like, is he not like secured in what he wants to do? Like, maybe he's thinking to himself, like, I don't want to be part of a new rebuild. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like
maybe.
Because the whole mentally, because you're not going to be there for long, and it's like you got to be there, and it's like I don't know, like you got new guys coming in. You got my man in it as well. What's his name? Konate. You've got Kwanzaa.
But remember, we lost Matip, bro.
Oh yeah, Matip. Yeah, true.
And we already need to replace Matip. So if we lose Virgil, we're in a bit of a pickle because even though Kwanzaa and Ibra are quality, that means we need to buy 2 centre backs. That's quite a big deal to do in one summer. We already had to buy 4 midfielders in one summer last year. I don't want to have to buy half a defence, again the following year. It's a bit too much change all at once. So I am a little bit worried in that regard. Maybe when he was talking about club football, maybe he meant, look, I'm not going to sign an extension, but I will see out this year because, we know he loves Liverpool. There's no doubt about that. He'll be 35 at the end of the contract he's currently on. Would I be angry if he didn't stay? No, I'd get it. 35 is quite old. I think he could probably go on a few more years because he's a good athlete. But 35 isn't the worst thing in the world for a centre-back to leave on a high, whatever. So as long as he's here for this year, the first transitional year of Slot, that's all that matters at the moment. But I would obviously prefer him to stay longer than that. But yeah, I don't know, bro. Everything's up in the air at the moment. There's a good feel factor around Liverpool, but everything is fully up in the air. We have no idea how it's going to go, who we're going to buy. Everybody else.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? Like,
they're not really no movement whatsoever.
No, I've not seen one.
Literally not anything.
Yeah, I've not seen one link. No, nothing at the minute. And yeah, you've got a decent squad to work with, but it's like nothing's really materializing for you lot. Like, I don't know, maybe Edwards, that's how he moves, isn't it? You man moves a bit kind of like,
Well, we know how Edwards is. Edwards is very nobody knows until they know. That's a fact that we know. We move in silence. We know that. And obviously, Slot wants to bring his team in and assess it, which I understand. I think it's the best thing to do. Any manager who's already thinking about buying players before he's had conversations and training sessions with the players that are already there is being a bit weird. You want to bring everybody in, see who suits the way you play, etc., etc. We've been linked with Sholton in the last 24 hours, which I will be over the moon with.
PSV?
The PSV midfielder, because I think he's brilliant. I really think he's a good player, so I'd be really happy about that. But other than that, we haven't really been. I mean, Calafiore we were linked with loosely, but now obviously that's gone away, and he's looking like he's going to Arsenal. So I'm just gonna relax at the moment. Obviously, as a fan, you always want transfers. Transfers is the most fun part of the summer, right? We all want transfers, but I do have to be. Oh yeah, sorry, Ali, we were actually linked heavily with Gordon, but they want too much. And I'm happy because I didn't want Gordon. Gordon is not an upgrade on Diaz. I don't care about that one good season he had. Just gone. Gordon isn't good enough. So yeah, I'm just.
What about Somerville? What about Somerville?
Yeah, Somerville.
We keep hearing bits at our end. Obviously, he fits into, for me, the price range that Liverpool like to move in. I think he's going to cost between 30 and 40 million. He'll want the move. By all accounts, he sort of dissuaded the Brighton situation and you only do that unless you know the clubs might come knocking. So is Somerville not an option? I was told by Errol the other day that it's not going to happen, but I don't know. I think that could be an option if Gordon is too much,
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about Somerville for a little while, bro, to be honest. So I think maybe those talks have cooled a bit. I do think he's a good player. I do like it.
Yeah.
I'd prefer Somerville to Gordon. But again, was it lazy journalism because he's Dutch as well?
Yeah,
I
of
don't know.
course, there
Like,
is
do you know
that.
what I mean? I don't know
Yeah.
if there was any real
He
truth in it. Or
he
if
was
it was
at Feyenoord. He was at Feyenoord with Slot as well. Wasn't he?
Slot.
So,
Yeah.
so-
I like him, and you're right. He does fit the price range. Young player, has another ceiling to go to as well. So, but I mean, with all due respect to all of these people we're being linked with, the same applies to us as to Arsenal. I'm not just going to put the pressure on them and then fall back and act like it's not on Liverpool. We have to be signing players who are ready to move the needle, in my opinion. We can't keep doing the project. Gravenberch was a project. You know what I mean? We've got Elliott, we've got Jones, young players coming through. Now we've got Kwanzaa coming through. We've got Bradley. We've got a lot of projects in the team. We need a couple of ready-made. We need some jotters. Do you know what I mean? We need some players who we just know they're going to work and that we know they're going to contribute. We're not going to have to wait a year or 2 years. We need some Salahs, some Manes. We knew at the time we bought those players, they were going to work. Do you know what I mean? Van Dijk, Alisson, these players, when we bought them, we knew they were going to work. Fabinho, we don't need any more projects. We need those type of players now that can just move us the way we knew McAllister would work. Do you know what I mean? That signing there, everybody knew that was the perfect signing. We knew that was going to work. We need a few more of those. So I hope we get it done. But I don't know. It's a crazy world at Liverpool.
Does anyone think they're going to struggle next year? Because I don't think they're going to struggle as much next year. Like Dan, I don't think for me they'll struggle as much as what people are saying. Like, you know what I mean? Because I just think they got a good squad, man. That means good attackers. Do you know what I mean? Like midfield still steady. Like they're not got like a bad squad. Like if you're on Slot, you're looking at that team thinking it's not bad to work with. Trent still there, Alisson, backline is still solid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think Liverpool will struggle. I think there's just obviously the question marks around the new system being implemented and how that works. And I think genuinely there might be a question mark about recruiting new talent in terms of how and where Liverpool are. And players might give it a season. They might give it 6 months till January or something like that to see where Liverpool are going to be and see what's sort of happening there, see the style of football, see if it suits them as a player, because I think that would be the only thing, isn't it? We're not talking about Klopp's Liverpool anymore. I don't think they'll struggle, though. I think Liverpool will comfortably be in the top four. The worry would be is, are they closer to second or closer to fourth in that battle for me, I think. But I don't see them struggling. I think they'll recruit well because ultimately that's what Edwards will do. He's been exceptional at that in the past, and I don't see anything changing there. For me personally, I kind of like it how he goes about his business as well. I think things under the radar is how I'd like things to be honest with you, because I think it kind of removes the potential of hijackings. It kind of keeps the hype down. And then when a player sort of moves in or you attract a player from out of nowhere, I think that can kind of excite other players into joining the club and things like that as well. So, yeah, look, I don't think Liverpool will struggle. I just think Liverpool fans need to be prepared to be patient in terms of this isn't Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. There is going to be a slight change, but I think Liverpool are smart, and I think they identified Arne Slot very early and kind of knew that this was their man. So I'd trust in their process, to be honest with you.
Do you know what, as well, like Arne Slot, I think it's a great appointment and he clearly backs himself. Rance has just said there about the temperament and stuff. This is a guy that had the opportunity to come to Leeds United when we sacked Marsh, turned it down. This is a guy that had the opportunity to go to Spurs, turned it down. Other managers would have jumped at the chance to come at the Premier League at any level whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? And he bided his time, and he's now got one of the top jobs following Klopp. And I think the difference as well is, say, if we look at, say, like Chelsea with Maresca, Liverpool fans will give this guy time. They will appreciate that Klopp has just left. They will appreciate there's going to be a period of transition, whereas other fans aren't as forgiving and be on it. But Anfield and the Liverpool fans will appreciate and say, do you know what, it might be rough for the first few weeks, but we can see there's a plan there. And that's what Slot will have. I think there's a lot of comparisons because he's bald and he's Dutch. It's another Ten Hag. But I actually think Slot's going to be a great success at Liverpool, and he's going to get the time to do it as well. I think
in my lifetime as well, I've very rarely seen Liverpool get a managerial appointment wrong. I feel like they do their checks on the person themselves, and they check whether the guy is going to fit in with the fans, going to fit in the city. Because I feel like that's a big deal at Liverpool. And we saw how much Klopp took to the people of Liverpool and how much they took to Klopp as well. And I feel like that kind of happened with Benitez as well. I think the only one I'd question over a while is probably, I don't think Hodgson went down too well.
Yeah, Hodgson was dead.
But then they quickly, what did they do with that? Did they replace him with Rodgers?
Yes.
Yeah. And even before Hodgson, they had Kenny Dalglish, which was obviously a great fit. I feel like they've always been okay in terms of recruiting a manager, in terms of them being a good person and a good fit for the city and the club, Liverpool. And I feel like that gets them off to a good start. They never start off on a bad foot. Obviously, it's very difficult to follow up in Klopp's shadow. We can all identify that and see that. But I think all of them are recruited in a smart way, which I think helps the manager get off to a good start. And I've heard him speak. I think he speaks really well. I'm quite impressed by him. I don't know too much about him, to be honest with you. I saw minimal footage of his teams previously, but the way he's handled himself as a manager so far in a small amount of interviews is impressive, I think.
I'm happy with him. I am genuinely happy with him. Once I found out he was going to be our manager, I did my due diligence on him, and I'm happy with him. I think he speaks well. I love the fact that he's actually been preparing himself for a Premier League management role to the point where he was even taking training sessions in English at Feyenoord, which for me proves that he's been almost practicing how to be a Premier League manager, right? Because if you're in Holland with a predominantly Dutch team, it's a bit mad that you would be making them train in English if it wasn't to get yourself used to being at a club where everybody will be English and you have to speak to the English media, etc., etc. So even though I know a lot of Dutch people are brilliant at English regardless, but I'm happy with him. I think it takes a lot. I think people are underestimating just how much bottle it takes to take over from a manager like Klopp. We've seen we've literally seen with Wenger and Fergie leaving, the power they had and the greatness that they had, and how difficult it was for Emery and Moyes to go in after them. And I know Klopp wasn't there as long as they were, but obviously it's a similar type of mold. Big success, big character, and now we're in the new era. And I think it takes a lot of bottle to take over from the manager who's got all of that. So I'm glad that Slot backs himself in that regard. He doesn't come across as arrogant, which I like. He just comes across as confident. And who knows? Who knows? I'm optimistic about the future. I don't think we're going to win the title in the first year or anything crazy like that. But I do want a trophy run, whether it be Carabao Cup, whether it be FA Cup, whether it be Champions League again. People might scoff at this, but no matter who the manager is, we have pedigree in Europe. And he did reach a final of the Europa League and only lose to Merino. So he even has a little bit of pedigree in Europe himself. So I'm optimistic about a cup run and top four. In the first season, as long as we don't have too many holes in the team that are a bit glaring and a bit annoying to watch, then top four on a trophy run, hopefully a domestic trophy, and I'll call it a good season. First good debut season, man.
Big up, man. Big up to them. You know what I'm saying? See what happens, man. United are doing their thing as well. Joshua Zirkzee, medical done today as well. Should get Delit over the line as well. So I can't lie. We're doing our thing as well. So I can't complain with United, man, at the minute. You know what I'm saying?
Does Zirkzee excite you?
You know what it is? It's because it's a different profile. I think everybody's just kind of like, but he's not scored 24 goals in the season, I get that. We could have Sesko, who had a brilliant end to the season, and he's on a high, but then he's probably going to be shit for United. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather have a player he's got, like, remember when you got Firmino drifted? What was the excitement like when you got him? Like, it's like, oh, what's going on here?
No, yeah, that came out of nowhere. It was like 1 a.m.
Came out of nowhere, innit?
Yeah, like we're super excited about Firmino, yeah.
Yeah.
Zirkzee looks like a good talent. He looks like a good talent.
Do you know what I mean? And it's similar to the way, like, Firmino played, like, just dropping in them little pockets, you know what I mean? And obviously, Firmino was more silky, you know what I mean? It was just technically unbelievable, but we need that sort of different mold, man, of a player.
We can't mull over the best thing that's happened recently in your team, though, and that's Johnny Evans signing a 1 year.
Johnny Evans, yeah, I know, man. You know what it is, though? With him, yeah, he's just there for the vibes, isn't it? It's like man, like Tom Heaton, man. We used to have like Adrian and them, man, like just there for the vibes, man. And like I said, I'm just kind of like, if he's like 5th, 6th choice, like, you can stay, man. 1-year
they're
deal.
great pros to have around the dressing room with the
Yeah, man.
stability at the moment as well. They're the sort of people you want around. Johnny Evans has been there with the best, mate. Like, you want him around, definitely.
As long as he's not third or fourth choice and gets a lot of football, because it might end up he gets a lot of football.
Injury. That only comes down to injury. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you've got to replace Varane, right?
Varane, yeah, so that would be Delit. And obviously the Euro thing's still up, pinned down. I know a lot of people will say, oh, you know, he's going to Real Madrid, but apparently now Real Madrid today, some murmurs coming out of, we might just allow it if we, you know what I mean? And, you know,
I think he'll go Madrid. I think
Madrid have to find a centre-back this summer, don't they? They have to. If you look at their issues, they need someone. It's whether or not they identify an 18-year-old as the right profile.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, it's
depends on what we want to do, but if we don't get
even the Butcher gets injured a lot, so you got to think that you can't rely on him.
You need we need two centre backs minimum this summer. Obviously, you got Evans, Maguire. I think Maguire will stay. Lindelof will be the one that leaves. Yeah, man. I
totally forgot about Maguire.
Maguire's there, man. I think he'll stay. Maguire. I think.
Surely this is the summary goes West Ham or
Maguire and McTominay, man. That Manchester United spine, that's what it's all about.
But you want a man, to be fair, you can't get United players, innit? You know what I mean? I was going to say, man, there are, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? The players out there that, you know, we could sell, but it just depends on who wants them. Do you know what I mean? So
they don't want to leave, mate. That's the problem. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're comfortable.
People will take Maguire, but they want to stay at Manchester United, man.
Bro, people, when you're on that wage here, when you get that wage, you're just going to be set, man. Now, because who else is going to give you that wage? Like, you've always got that kind of player in your team that is on a nice wage and he just doesn't want to leave. I don't know if that happens in Liverpool. Like, there's a player that just there and he doesn't want to leave.
Yeah, we've got Bamford. No one wants him there. He's a terrible striker.
How much is he on?
Wages, he's on decent. We gave him a new deal after he got the England call up and signed him up for like 5-6 years, and he's still in the Championship, still missing chances, and no one will take him. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I genuinely don't know what it is. So United are doing well. Chelsea's still quiet. Nothing really happening there.
Kepa news is breaking today that he might head off to Saudi Arabia. So basically, Saudi got their budgets, I think, yesterday. That's why the Diaby news and the Kepa news is breaking. So, yeah, that's about
it. Okay, so there you go then. So that's a bit of news right there. Do you know what I mean? But all in all, I think Saudi then. Yeah. I think
Diaby could go for 60 million, by the way. I know it's not Chelsea, but he could go for 60 million, which is a huge fee for Villa.
Jeez.
Yeah. Considering, what did he come last season?
Bro, what's to leave already? What's going on with him, man?
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
He never wanted to be at Aston Villa, did he? Let's be honest. He wanted the money, man. And like I said, he's not going to in the French squad. I think he's a bit overrated.
I think he put himself in the window side. I think that's what a lot of players do. They think if I come to the Premier League at a smaller club, put myself in the window, then the bigger clubs will take me now. I've proven I can play at that level.
And I think Leon Bailey proved that they don't actually need Hitman Diaby in the squad together as well. Bailey kind of stepped up, didn't he?
Yeah. Trust me.
You need the squad, though. You do need the squad. He was a very good player to have in a rotation.
How you can't turn down profit on a player that you signed a year ago, can you? It's just crazy. So, yeah, that's not going away, obviously, this season. And yeah, it's quiet at Chelsea. Obviously, links to a couple of players, but I think there's still talks about Nico Williams, but we're basically just hoping he wants a discount in salary. Other than that, I'm not hearing much. I don't see much happening until pre-season gets underway, to be honest with you. I think
that's
with a new manager coming in
next week.
And the Euros, I just think it slows down the transfer window a lot. So we need to go off to America, see how we're playing, let Maresca assess the squad, see where his weaknesses are at, see what he thinks is missing. We've got players still playing across the board, like Enzo's still out, obviously, at Copa America. We've got players, obviously, in both teams at the Euros. So it's going to be a while till our full squad's back together. So if Chelsea get busy in the transfer window, I'd expect it to be towards the latter end, to be honest with you, just because of how this summer's fallen with football.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll see, man. But guys, man, I'm going to wrap it up here. Smash the like button on the video. I don't know what we're on right now in terms of likes. We're currently on 443. That's poor, guys. Let's get these up to 500 if you can. Joe, what you got coming up, man? Love for coming on.
No, thank you so much for having me, mate. I'll just be there Sunday, obviously watching England win the Euros, man. So if you're not watching Saeed, then come on over and watch me, folks. Thanks for having me on, bro. Nice one.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Big up to you, Drifting, man. Let them know what you got coming up, man.
Yeah, man. Pleasure as always, bro. I'm not sure what we have coming up other than the Monday night show, which obviously our regular show on Coppish every Monday. Obviously, if any transfer news hits, then we'll be covering that over the weekend. But yeah, just looking forward to Sunday as well for two reasons as well, because I think the Colombia-Argentina final is going to be banging as well. So it's going to be a big day of football on Sunday, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, looking forward to it, man. Definitely me, 100%, man. I think Wimbledon final tomorrow on Sunday as well. Alcaraz is through, so we're going to see who faces Djokovic.
Wow, that's a full day of sport, man.
Full day of sport, then Copa America in the nighttime. So, yo, bro, we're active, man. We're chilling.
Yeah,
man.
big day.
You know what I'm saying to you, so big up, man. Dan, what you got coming up? Anything you got coming up?
Live on TikTok pretty much every day, mate. And obviously just getting excited for Sunday. That'll be a nice way to cap off the month, I think. And then get into it for Chelsea's pre-season. I'll be on my YouTube channel, and pleasure to keep coming on here. So it's been great recently over the Euros, I say.
Definitely, man. Big up to you, man. Dan Potts is live. We're gonna do a redirect to him. He's with lead judges. So guys, go and head over there. Saeed TV raid. Big up to you. I'll catch you later at 9 p.m. for United news. Apparently we're linked with Simmons and stuff like that. Zirkzee deal. We'll talk about that as well. So yeah. Some more news on United later on 9 p.m. But guys, like the video on your way out, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.